This past couple of weeks, we have been sick. We've had the stomach bug, our stomach flu. We've had a couple of colds hit our whole house. I don't know what we've got going on right now, but it's not fun. So I have not been able to kind of post um, too often, and I apologize for that. I also wanted to go over the April budget back in March because I like to kind of prepare for the month ahead, mid-month to the end of the month, of what I'm in. So it would have been mid to late March, to look over April. But stomach flu got in the way, and so this month's budget setup is coming a little later than usual, but honestly, life happens, and I'm just picking up where we are and moving forward. If you are in the same spot, give yourself some grace and just start from today. Today is a great place to start. So today I'm going to walk you through our April budget setup. The first thing I do at the start of the month, the day before we get our first paycheck of the month, is to take everything out of our checking account except for $100 to $200. And I move that into savings. So today I have left, I think, $125 in one checking account and about $170 in another checking account. Everything else has been moved into savings. And right now we have $3,000 in savings. Our goal is to build that up to a $5,000 emergency fund. Now, I know there's some really great people out there who advise keeping only $1,000 in an emergency fund. And that is a really great starting point. And we used to do that. But what we have learned for us with an older home, older cars, and kids who need more support than average, $1,000 just wasn't enough. And we ended up using that and then getting into credit card debt because bills were more than $1,000. And so for us, we're trying to save up $5,000 first. That feels like a safe number. And then on top of that, we're going to start saving after we get our $5,000. We're going to save for a sinking fund for all of the big bills that are kind of due throughout the year. So until then, this emergency fund is going to help us cover things like months when we're a little short, or expenses that are, they're coming, but they still sneak up on you. Like life insurance is due in July, car insurance is also due in July and in August, and then again in January and February. So this month, we've had a few extras coming up and a few surprise expenses. Being sick, we've had to buy medicine and juice and ginger ale and all sorts of things that we normally don't purchase. My son broke his finger. So we have x-rays that we had to do, doctor's visit. And then this week we have more x-rays and doctor's visits. This month, we've also got a few extras coming up. Our dog has her vet checkup, which I never know what that's going to be. It always seems to be different. It's also my daughter's birthday and, of course, Easter. So the money in savings gives us a little peace of mind to handle all of these things without panicking. All right. So once I move the money, I grab a calendar. I printed mine off online for free, but you can grab one at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 or Walmart for about $5. I then write down every bill that's due. Just seeing it all in one place really helps me. So every bill that we have coming up this month goes here. Oop, that's last month. This one is April. So it all goes here. I do have bills that are due in the beginning of the month that are due before we get paid. So our first paycheck is on the 4th. We get paid on Fridays. So these bills I actually paid with March's paycheck. So I've highlighted them in yellow and give them a check mark because I have already paid them. And then I kind of put the actual amount. Like I budgeted $176 for electricity. You probably can't see it, but it says $175.61 was our actual. So these are already paid and highlighted in yellow. And then everything else that's due this month is written on here. I also put our goals. So our goal this month is to pay the birthday in cash, not put any part of the birthday on credit. We're going to stay in budget, and we're going to try to save something, either put that to paying down the credit card or putting it toward our $5,000 savings. So those are my goals that I stare at every time I look at the budget. And then this is our month in place. So I use the Happy Planner. This is an old homeschool planner that I used for my son when we first started homeschooling when he was 3, and kind of kicked out of preschool for being too smart. Um, so it was great if you're looking for a homeschool planner. I liked it for one child. However, with 2 children, it became a little cumbersome. So I have a whole nother system that I use now. So I took it apart and I printed off this calendar. I used the punch thing that I had for Happy Planner to uh, enter this in here, and then you can just print off sheets of paper and put it in for your notepad paper. This kind of here was a note paper I already had. So you could do it this way if you want to print off your calendar, put it in a 3-ring binder, or you can even tape it in a notebook and follow along that way too. All right, so now I have a plain piece of paper, and this is going to be our budget. So I have our budgeting amount that we think we're going to get paid. My husband can work overtime. We never know until that day or that night if he's going to be having overtime or not, or if he's going to get called in. We'll find out that morning when they call him and say, "Hey, please come in." There are months and years that go by where there's 0 overtime. So this is not a common thing. Lately, we've had a lot of overtime, which has been fantastic and really helpful, but we don't count on it. I teach English as a second language online, so I am only paid for the classes I'm booked. I do have a lot of regulars, fantastic students, but sometimes kids go on vacation, kids are sick, they don't take lessons, or kids age out of lessons. I had one kid that I brought to our highest level, and so he kind of aged out. Um, so I lose students that way too. So I kind of plan for what we think I'm going to be teaching, and my husband what he will make without any overtime at all. Then I list out our loans, our mortgage, second mortgage. Don't get a second mortgage. Don't be like us. Our loan, and then I have our work expenses, or sorry, our bills here, which are work expenses, dog insurance, electricity, pests, phone, water, internet, any other monthly bills you have coming in. And then I'm listing off our credit card debt with just the minimum payments, just minimums. And that's our total. So totaling all of these together comes to 4764, and separating the 4764 from the income gives me about $1,200. So I have about $600 for gas and tolls, and then I can budget about $676 for food and miscellaneous. So it's about 169, 170 a week. I did last month buy extra food for this month. I bought ahead some frozen food, some shelf stable things that the kids eat that they have to have. My son is autistic, so he has a limited diet. Um, so I did that. So I'm not sure how much we're really going to need, but we do eat a lot of produce, eggs, breads, that kind of thing that we do try to buy a little more on the fresh side. So hopefully we get to go under that. All right, so that is our budget, and we are going to make enough money to make the month, which is not always the case, and wasn't the case last year at all. So this is a good sign. We're doing good on that. So then I take another piece of paper and I break down our budget based on our income for the week. So week 1, I color code it and I've made it blue. So I put our income here and then I go back to the calendar and I say, all right, what is due that first week? So we have credit card 1, credit card 5, dog insurance, phone insurance. So I make sure that goes all here, plus food and gas, leaving me $432 left over. So then I can pay ahead. So I have pest, credit card 3, internet, and water. So pest, credit card 3, internet, and water. So all of this will be paid off in our week 1 bill. That's going to leave me $67 that I'm going to put into savings. Week 2, I'm going to make green. I have my income, and we're going to pay off our loan right here. So that will be paid off week 2. So we have food, gas, and also credit card 2 will be paid off right here, leaving me $130. Week 3, I have as purple. We have our food and gas, and then our mortgage payment right here is going to be paid there. Then we have $530 left over. So that 530 plus 130 plus 67 is going to be added back into week four's income. So I have the income minus food and gas, plus that 727, which was from savings, giving me 1867, which pays the mortgage. So mortgage is pink right here for week four, and that's week four. So that gives me about $317 left over. So again, gas, I budget $200 a week in gas. My husband drives far to work. We do not have gas guzzlers. I drive far to the kids' therapies. They have amazing therapists, and it is kind of a drive, but it's worth it because they've been really good for my kids. And so we budget $200 for that in case my husband has to fill up 3 times in that week. I fill up, and we get our toll bill that comes in at the same time. So that's to make sure we have enough. And then this kind of becomes an added buffer as well. So that's what we do for the weekly schedule. So we have our weekly, we have our budget, and we have our monthly calendar with our goals for the month and everything that is due. So that is our April setup in a nutshell. We've got a few big expenses this month, some we planned for and some we didn't. But with our emergency fund growing and a plan in place, I do feel that we are a lot more prepared even after a rough couple weeks of being sick. So if you would like to budget with us, grab yourself a calendar, print it off for free with the link that I will put down there. Again, I don't know this person, but I liked their calendars, and you can print them for free. Grab yourself a couple plain sheets of paper, write down your budget. Remember, your income goes top, then you have your loans, bills, debts, and then food and gas that you have to pay. If you cannot afford your month, make sure, like Dave Ramsey says, I think this is smart. You need to have food. You got to eat. You have to eat. So food, gas to get to work. You need a place to live. Your mortgage is next. You got to keep your lights on, electricity, and then kind of anything else that you absolutely need. Your water, you will need, if you work from home, your internet. But everything else you can kind of push toward another month or cancel if you have to. And then get another piece of paper and go through and do it week by week and make sure that you have the money each week to pay the bills, that everything can kind of stretch over. Or if you have extra, you can pay forward to kind of help you out at the end of the month. So again, that's our April setup in a nutshell. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hopefully, if no one else gets sick, I will be back next week with a budget update to share how things are going, what unexpected things have popped up, and how we are adjusting. If you are working on your own budget this month, let me know how it's going in the comments. I'd love to hear your wins or what's hard, if you had any random expenses pop up that you didn't expect either. Let me know how you're taking care of them. And don't forget to like or subscribe if you want to follow along as we tackle debt, build savings, and work toward peace, even in the chaos. So until next time, take a deep breath, give yourself some grace, and keep going. Bye, everyone.